Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is finishing off our prompt for June. Where is she? The fuchsia. There she is. So I've stitched the flowers. So really happy with the way they came together. And like I said last Monday, I probably wouldn't do too much of this purple and just save it as a little bit in under the petals that sort of hold the purple petals. So that's where we're at with the flowers. So today I want to have a play with the green, but I also want to have a little look at some beads. Now I haven't put a lot of beads on this piece, but I'm thinking I might scatter a few, because when I looked in the cupboard, this set of beads here has a really good fuchsia colour there, and also a purple. So I just want to get some beads out of my system. Do I use them? Do I not? Are they going to complement? But like I said, there's not a lot of beading. Oh, come on, just slide in, will you? What's going on with this silly thing? I've got something caught. Start again. Concentrate on one task at a time. I notice I've got a bit of pink shading here. So I must have touched the pink paint with my finger, and then the hoop has placed it here. I'm not too concerned because there is, you know, green shading around, and some of the paint has bled to give that watercolour look, so I'm okay with it. But I guess what I wanted to say, if you're using gouache paints, they can be quite chalky on your surface, and if you're touching it, you might transfer paint. And I noticed it when I was doing the lily, because I really painted these spots with the white gouache, and I noticed there was like a chalky feeling in my fingers as I sort of went along. So, which is fine on this because it's white, but this is distinctively pink. So I thought, oh, better just mention that in case you really want to slush around the paint and then you find it transfers because it's a bit chalky. Now, let's get ourselves set up to do a little bit of beading. So I've got a knot there, holding it onto my needle. Oh gosh, that's been such a godsend. I swear in a video, I have the potential of knotting and rethreading, rethreading. I'm just looking for a beading container I got here. Rethreading my blooming needles so many times. Probably don't need that many. Okay. Now, I might, where will I put some? They're definitely the right colour. Let me just pick up my needle. I was going to pick up my bead, but I've just cut my fingernails, and this is going to be a real challenge. I'm thinking of working. What's going on now? Are you serious? Why are you tangled? Okay. I have been, I've done it again. Concentrate, girl. I have been racing around like a mad chook all morning, just doing chores. And you know when you start in one room and then it evolves into another room, and then before you know it, you're vacuuming, and then you're wiping vanities down, and that's what I've been doing all morning. And I thought to myself when I got up, I'll just do a few little chores to make me feel like I'm contributing to my household. And then I'm going to go and stitch. And I need to film the last video for this project for June. And then I potentially can, you know, pick up another project and have a place. So I thought before another day goes into stitching and mucking around in my room, I better do a few chores. So that's how my day started. But the few chores, it just, I don't know, it just turns into multiple chores. And then before you know it, I've got many things going, haven't finished anything. And then I turn around and I'm back in that original room and cupboard doors are open. Things are half done. So then I sort of start again in the space, trying to put everything back together. Oh my goodness, I tell you. So I finally feel like every door is closed. You know what it started with? There's a tall outdoor table that has 6 chairs. Technically, you could use it as a bar, and the chairs are quite tall. Now, we had that on the veranda of our house years ago that is across the lake because it has a big veranda around it. So it was our outdoor setting, and it was lightweight, so we could just pick it up, and whenever we were finished holidaying there with family and friends, we could just pop it inside and it'd be out of the weather and then head back to Brisbane. So that little table, when we sold that house, has gone back to Brisbane and has sat for a couple of years while we were waiting for the new house to be built at Burrum. Now, technically, the little table has returned and it's sitting in the lounge room because I'm waiting for Gaz in his shed to become a place where I can dump anything that I don't want in the house. And that little setting is part of it. Technically, I probably should have sold it while I was in Brisbane because it doesn't really have a home here. But it's sitting there in the lounge room. I haven't sort of taken it outside to the patio. Maybe there is a home. Nothing's jumping out. Do I want it? Do I not? As it passes through the patio, I'll have a little play with it. But at that stage, it will probably continue on into Gaz's shed. So sitting on that table is everything that just gets dumped. So as we were moving house, that little table, well, it's not that little. I guess it's like 1.5 meters by 90 centimetres. It's nearly a bar with 6 chairs. Well, you know, when you're moving house and you have those things that sit on the seat beside you or on the back seat, you haven't put them in a box because they're awkward. All of those random items, laptops that are old, and I don't know why we've still got them. They've been long replaced, but for some reason we still have them. Well, they come out of a cupboard and they sat on the back seat. I think there's 3 old laptops. I don't even think they blooming work anymore. But anyway, we've grabbed them, we put them on the back seat of the car on one of those many trips, and they've ended up on that little table. So every time I walk through the lounge area, I see those laptops, I see a vase, I see a couple books. It's the dumping site. So this morning, that's how all this started. I thought I'm going to clear that little table and I'm going to take it onto the patio, decide whether it's an outdoor piece I want or it continues on to the shed, and see if Gaz can use it. If he doesn't use it, well then we'll probably look at selling it. So you pick up a laptop. I walked round and round the house going, well, where am I going to put this old dead laptop? And I said to Gaz, do we need it? Oh, you know, the programs don't work on it, but it's got data on it. Haven't we made a backup? Yeah, we have. I'm like, all right, so find a cupboard. So I chuffed off to the bedroom and I thought, well, maybe there's a cupboard drawer on Gaz's side that is empty and could have 3 old laptops stuck in it. No, nothing. Those are the drawers where you put your woolen stuff, you know, a hat if you happen to go to a cold climate, a scarf if you happen to go to a cold climate, all those random pieces of clothing. So I come back out of the bedroom with this one dead laptop in my hand. I then head to the hall cupboards, which are full of old quilts, well, not old quilts, quilts that I've made, you know, back in the 90s. So there's a stack of them in there. Crocheted blankets that are made in the 2000s. Oh my goodness, you get the picture. And then the rest of the cupboard is full of random Christmas decorating ideas that I've collected over the years from my stores, and I pull them out every year to decorate the house, but they take up space. So I'm standing there with this dead old laptop in my hands, and I start consolidating that cupboard. And I work out that I could clear a space, probably about 1 metre, which would allow these laptops to sit. And if we ever needed them, we can just pick them up and they're there. So that starts happening. I then realise I've got 2 barrels of baubles that don't fit now in that cupboard. So now I'm walking around with 2 barrels of baubles in my hand that don't fit in that cupboard because the laptops are gone in there. So I end up in the 3rd room, the spare room, which has everything that's eventually going into the shed that belongs to Gas. So there's no room in the house. You've got to build some shelving in the shed for your Lego, old dead games from Nintendos and what's that other brand? A Wii, you know, just stuff. Ridiculous. So that room is chockers with boxes yet to be unpacked, and written on it is Gaz's shed, so that I didn't have to try and, you know, find a spot for it. So what have I done here? My knot's just too big. It's not going through that bead. So I've got to make sure it sits right at the end of the needle so it slides in through. So now these 2 barrels of baubles, which technically are in the Christmas cupboard, are sitting in the room that is technically Gaz's stuff. So I'm starting to get a little wound up by the fact that things are being moved and cupboards are full, and oh, I tell you. So that's on the go. And then I come back out to the lounge room, and I don't know, for some reason I noticed that the range hood grate is a bit greasy, so I start cleaning. I start cleaning that. Meanwhile, on that said table is still 2 laptops yet to go to the cupboard, which now has a space for them. But I get sidetracked and I'm cleaning the range hood. So suddenly the range hood's all cleaned and pulled apart, put back together. And in the process of using some paper towel, I realised the bin in the kitchen is full and today's bin day. So then I stopped to gather up all the rubbish from all the little bins, including the one in my craft room, and I make my way to the wheelie bin. Then I've got to take the wheelie bin out to the street, and then I realise that everyone else on the street has put their yellow lid bin out, which means the cardboard recycling is being picked up. It only gets, you can see where this is all going. So the cardboard recycling bin also needs to go up, so back I go towards the side of the house, open up the gates, get the yellow lid bin, go back out to the street to deposit it on the footpath so the truck can come and pick it up. And I thought, oh, I'll check the letterbox. Might as well check the letterbox. No letters. Maybe I'm too early for the letterbox lady, the mail lady. They're only coming every other day. Maybe it's not that day. So anyway, walking back to the house, I'm like, oh, gee, my gerbers look a little limp. They look like they need a water. So I'm thinking, well, I've got the side gate open now, so I might as well turn the hose on and water the gerbers. Then I look, sorry guys, I'm losing it. Then Pepper and Bandit join us. So I'm now out on the front yard with the hose playing with Bandit. He's flicking water around and jumping like a gazelle. Pepper's checking the boundary fence. I then glance to the agapanthus and I think, the agapanthus could do with a bit of a drink too. So I'm watering the agapanthus. Then I've got to wind up the hose everyone back in around the backyard. Side gates are secured. Come back inside and notice that there's still 2 laptops out of the 3 sitting on the little thing. So I go heading towards that laptop, second one, pick it up, walk it up the hallway, pop it in the cupboard because I had clean space for them so they fit. Turn around, head back towards the 3rd laptop on that little table, realise that the kitchen cupboard is open where the bin is, and I've yet to put a new bin liner in and that little task. So I detoured to that. I put the bin liner in, finish that, wipe down the bench, then sort of spin around and, you know, it caught my eye. The glass pendants that are over my kitchen bench looked grimy, dusty. So I'm thinking, do I feel like cleaning them? No, I don't feel like cleaning them. This was just a quick tidy up. So I ignore them, keep walking, get the 3rd laptop, take it up the hallway to the cupboard, pop it in with the other 2 laptops, mission completed. Oh my goodness. Now in amongst that, there are other little tasks that I started that I've probably forgotten, but I do a quick round robin and close all remaining doors, pick up a bill that was at the printer on the way through that needs paying. It's just ridiculous. 4 hours later, having just wanted to put some laptops away in a cupboard somewhere, I make it into this room to sit down and stitch. And Gaz is chatting away to me about all sorts of random things. And I'm like, look, don't talk to me. I can't afford to be distracted anymore. I really want to film this video and get it up to my channel. Oh, it's exhausting. Absolutely exhausting. I'm sure it's a diagnosable condition that I've got. Multitasking. What a morning. So now I'm going to sit and stitch. Maybe later I'll drag that little table out to the patio that connects the house to the shed. See if we want it out there. And if not, I'm going to make a decision and open up the doors to the shed and just drag it in there and say, there you go, it's yours. If you don't want it, let me know and I'll advertise it. And we'll get rid of it because it's just surplus to requirements, taking up space. Now I've got a problem with my needle and thread. What have I done? I've twisted around here, I think. So yeah, that's what I did this morning. I know I achieved something. I got 3 laptops in the cupboard plus a multitude of other jobs. Oh, in amongst it, the bins got emptied and I had to go back out, get the bins, bring them in, relock up the gates. I feel like I've walked a mile this morning and achieved just a few things. So meanwhile, I'm stitching away these beads. I'm just doing some random little elements. Like I said, I haven't got a lot of beads on this piece, but they do pop up occasionally. So I think I'm just sort of keeping that same vein, just keep it light. Don't go, now there's a fly in here that just whizzed past. That's because I've been coming and going outside. And a little blighter has snuck in. So that's what I'll be doing when I finish filming. I'll be chasing a fly. Goodness me. Okay, a couple more across. Sort of putting them in the crease of all those petals and then doing a little bit of a line of them up through there. I don't know if I'll use the purple, to be honest. The purple is just such a bold colour, and I've gone more the pink as my statement colour. I also did the rest of the little bullion knots. I love them. They just look so pretty. Couple more. Can't help myself. Oh, I didn't put any of that bright pink up here. So we might do that as well. I think that's about all I need. So I might just grab the bright pink. If I don't get to the green, I don't think you'll be too worried because it's a little bit boring. And I'd be rather wanting to watch, if it was me, fuchsias than leaves. Okay, so let's grab a little bit more of this pink. It's so, well, it's not neon, but boy, it's pretty bright. Where's a good needle? That'll do. Just need a tiny bit just to make it look a little fancy. There we go. Just a little hint of it. It's all these little stitches, I think, that really take your piece to the next level. I think I'm coming back through a knot. Yeah, I was. I was so tempted to bring ribbon into this, but there's no ribbon on this whole piece. So I thought, don't be starting, you know, a whole new thing. But I know I've got in amongst my colour stream ribbons is some fuchsia. I think they even call it fuchsia, to be honest. Would be beautiful as petals, but nope. Try not to deviate from the original brief for the project, otherwise, you know, tangents, heading off in different tangents. Oh, I can hear that fly. Oh my goodness. Gee, they're quick. They must get into the garage and then hang around waiting for that opportunity to scoot inside. Because that's the only way they can get in, is me coming and going from the garage, or the front door, of course, or I guess the back door, but they just they must sense that there's a smell in there that they like. You know, when you cook meat, they seem to come from far and wide when you cook a barbecue or something like that. So when I open up the door to the house, they must go, oh, that smells good in there, and make a dart for it. And of course, you don't notice it. Okay, just a couple little stitches here. It's just a little pop of colour. Helps connect the story. I don't think I'll put beads on these. I think they're too small. I think the beads would overpower the little shape. It's a crewel needle I'm using, which is probably not the right needle for using with pearl cotton because it's becoming unstitched so easily. Now I've got a little morsel here, and all my little morsels are being stitched randomly around the hemline. I won't go around the entire thing with this. I don't want it to be a rainbow edge. I just want little bits here and there, and it would take a lot of thread, and I'd pretty much use, you know, all of the threads just getting this edge. So the intent is just to stitch around that little edge, the little bits left from once I do some embroidery. And it's quite surprising, because they're only little stitches, how far a little morsel goes. Sometimes I get up to 2 inches of stitching. I've still been thinking about, do I add some fabric to this piece, like little squares? Do I do some running stitch over it, or just leave it clean like this? Yeah, I'm still contemplating. Nothing's jumping out as an idea. I've had a play with the Liberty fabrics, which are very floral. They don't look right. So at the moment, it is just going to be exactly as we see it. I sort of like the cleanness of it. Okay, now we're getting to the end of it. See, that's nearly it'd be an inch. Just a little element of stitch. Great way to use up your orts, your leftover bits from a stitching. Well, I'm going to say my flowers are finished. So I might grab my threads next that are in the greens and decide or locate a suitable green, which will pretty much be the same as probably all the other greens. Let's just quickly get these in. Okay, those were from Spotlight. They weren't cheap though, $15, $17, something like that. So if you are an Aussie girl and you can access Spotlight, just wait for a sale. There's no need to be paying that full price. The other ones that I saw, which are a fraction smaller than these, I believe, were at Kmart. Fleur Woods had them at her course. When she was in Australia, she went into Kmart and found them and told us all about it. And I just haven't had time to get there and grab myself a set. And I think she said they were like $6 or something, which is pretty good. Oh, look at you. I wonder if you're already out. I'd rather use one that's, oh, that's him. Okay. All right. That was easy. So I've got stranded cotton here. I think that will work a treat. How many threads is that? 4. Well, I think I will run with that. Just trying to thread the needle if you're wondering where I have gone. Huh. Come on, there we go. Alrighty. Let's pop that needle away before it jabs me. Nice and safe. Now, what are we going to do? maybe some nothing because the knot just pulled through. Need a bigger knot because we've got quite a loose weave fabric. So now I've got a knot sitting directly above another knot, which didn't achieve anything. That's better. Okay, so see if I come down those lines, it's going to get quite thick. Maybe I'll come down the bottom here and just do some stitching where the bud comes and joins into the actual flower, and put a bit of a decorative stitch or two there. Yeah. And then maybe, so I've done two stitches where the flower joins the stem and one stitch a little bit further up. So it's just a hint. Do we do another little hint? So it's tricky because you've got a painted surface and you've got a black pen highlight. So you sort of don't want to do all that and then go over it all with thread. So you're sort of covering up that effect that we're chasing for this particular project. So I guess my stitching is less is more. I can hear that fly. Cheeky thing. Let's come over here to this little guy. Oh, what have I got there? I've got a thread hanging up in the air. Are you serious? Oh, I have to fiddle with that off camera. I'd say I need to actually remove those beads because I haven't realised, but there's a loop. Oh, there it is. Did I get it? Yeah, I did. So it's just part of the knotting off. Wow. That's very tricky that I've pulled that off. I'm just going to attempt to knot that a little better and fix that little. So if I put my needle through, I don't know if I can do this. Go around a couple times. I'm not even sure if it's technically needed, but I'd rather have it secure than not. Come on. Come on. Through you go. I know you can do it. Riveting viewing for you all. Gosh. Could you imagine me doing TikTok reels or those reel things? Just isn't gonna happen. That's it. That's it. We got her. Done. I'm happy now. Put the needle away because it's a nasty little sharp one. Where's my green needle gone? Here it is. Okay, we're back. So we're just going to put a couple little stitches into the top of that flower. Maybe, here's a suggestion, instead of stitching the leaves like I have in the past, either highlighting the perimeter or highlighting the veins, maybe this time I only stitch where the stem meets the leaf and leave the leaf like I'm doing with the buds. Only put 3 little stitches right where everything connects. That's something different. I haven't done that before. That's a plan. need a bigger needle. Be here all day. Okay. Next one. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. My green is going to be all around where everything connects. So 1, 2, 3. 3 little stitches. There we go. It's fiddly, but I'm thinking it's going to keep it finer looking. I don't want the foliage of this plant to get chunky with stitch, because they've got a delicate drapiness about them, these flowers. So there we go, we're back on the next one. So 1, 2, and 3, just coming up the branch just a little bit. I wonder if I've got a flower coming up in the future that has a brown branch. It's an awful lot of green branches. The cherry blossom was a bit that way. It had a bit of a... Where's my cotton gone? Oh my goodness, what have I done with it? There it is, caught up in the folds. Okay. Now I used 4, didn't I? So I need to separate this. Okay, we're ready to go again. This little one here. And I'm just coming up in the pink a little bit. So it sort of feels like it has bleeding into the shape of the top of it, if that makes sense. Number 2 stitch and number 3. Yep. It's fiddly. It's a lot of stopping and starting. I mentioned in a video a little while back these from Fleur's course. If anyone was chasing them, I wasn't real sure where you could go. And then a couple of you mentioned that if you type in dragon scissors, because that is a dragon on there, they'll pop up. And I found that quite a few quilt shops around me had them. Mind you, a lot of hairdressing scissors popped up as well, so whether they come from the same manufacturer, I don't know. It would explain why they're so sharp if they're connected to the hairdressing industry. It would sort of make sense. Oh, seriously. Now look what I've done. Oh boy, isn't it going to be one of those days? Okay. Simple, effective. Should do a proper little knot. I'm being a bit lazy by not doing that second little. My knots are all over the place. When you watch Jennifer's videos, Jennifer Clouston, she's got a real technique, is down pat. I think you need to for that type of embroidery too. Like her knots are spot on every time. Mine are like half baked, half done. Oh my goodness. I can only get 2 stitches there. That's okay. We're in around the buds, so they are a little bit different. So Jennifer goes through once, goes through twice, and Corrine jiggers it up. It's probably because it's stranded cotton. It's a little bit more temperamental. Okay, next one. This little guy. It's starting to separate. Good old stranded cotton. 1, 2, 3. Just not being as bold with these because they're only little. Once, twice, done. That's the Jennifer knot. It's interesting when you watch all these videos that all these YouTubers are out there, the littlest thing will catch your eye and then you're like, that's all you're fixated on as you're watching. Her wrist does that with that knot. Or do we want to do the leaves? Let's do one more bud. Yeah, I really feel like I need to leave the leaves alone. I don't know why. And just have the stitches connecting to the flowers. I like that just too. One. Didn't work. Oh my goodness me. There's just no consistency. There's no consistency when I do housework. There's no consistency when I'm doing general tasks, stitching. Oh gee. All right, that's it. I'm going to call that piece finished. There's that fly. And I'm going to say goodbye once I tidy up. Really should not do that because it's going to break the hinge, but she does. She keeps doing it. I'm going to put my fuchsia away and we will see you next Monday, the first Monday of the month. What are we? Of July. And there'll be a brand new flower for the Botanical Beauties. It'll go away, fly. It just came to my ear and went bzzz. He's taunting me. You are so gone, mate. Let me tell you when I finish here. All right, there we go. Gosh, I hope all that was on camera. Oh, wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't. All right, guys, look after yourselves. Have a lovely day and catch you in the next video. Bye.